All right, I think we're live. You guys tell me if it's too dark. I can't. It's hard for me to gauge sometimes if I'm dark and if I'm too dark on screen. If I need to bump the exposure up a little bit or turn the lights up a little bit or something like that. So you tell me if I am. I know we got just a couple of people in here tonight. We may have a light audience tonight. I think I'm actually going to be cutting it a little bit short tonight anyway because I've got Quail coming up this weekend. I'm going to have to pack up. I got to leave out early tomorrow morning to get there because I'm driving. It's a long drive. So let's get disclaimers out of the way. We'll get into this. This is a weekly live broadcast pretty much every Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central. That's what I do. Sometimes things get in the way. I can't make it. Excuse me. I got to get a drink. I was eating some fried okra my wife made right before I got on here. I should have not done that. But it's okay. What was I going to say? So weekly live broadcast, 7 o'clock Central, Thursday evenings. This is pretty much an Ask Me Anything session. I do my best to respond to all the comments or all the chat that comes in during the live broadcast itself. So if you have a question, something you haven't got an answer to a comment, because I haven't been good about answering comments lately, this is a good place to do it. I'll usually do a pretty good job of trying to, like I said, get every live chat that comes in during the live chat going. And the only things I ask, be friendly, be polite, don't be hateful, don't be cussing anybody. Even if we have a difference of opinion, that's fine. We can have difference of opinion. That doesn't mean we have to be hateful with each other. All right, we got a couple of people commenting right now. Just a couple, though. It's a little slow tonight. We got Metalhead Homestead. Says, how's it going? I'm doing fine. Hopefully you are, too. An emergency prep guy. Good to see you. From Idaho, huh? Good to see you. Angel Yautzi, is that right? Says, I love all the tips that you give. I have learned a lot. Thank you so much. Well, you're quite welcome. Thank you for watching the videos. I'm glad to hear that you find them helpful, because that's why I do them. I like to help people out. So Kathy, good to see you. Says, hey, Chris, newbie quailer in Maine. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining. I'm glad that you can make the live broadcast. I'd be happy to help you out if you have some questions. Lillian. Let's see. Lillian says, do you palpate your does? If so, what do you feel for? I usually don't, honestly, and it's actually pretty tricky to do. What you're feeling for is, low on the abdomen. I did a video on it a long time ago, but you're going to go pretty low on the stomach, back towards the back of the rabbit, and push up on her stomach almost, pretty hard. Not, you don't want to injure her, of course, but you want to press up pretty firmly. You're feeling for what basically feels like little grapes in there, just a little ball. It can very easily be mistaken for droppings, though. You might feel droppings and that are in her tract. She hasn't excreted yet, of course. Try to figure out how to say this where it's not too gross. And you might feel those and think that that's the baby's growing. So it's a really tricky thing to do. I just don't find it necessary most of the time, because you really can't palpate and get any kind of results with wait. You got to wait about 2 weeks. And by that time, I might as well just wait another 2 weeks and see if she has babies or not. And most of the time, it's rare that I ever have a rabbit that I've bred that doesn't have babies. So I just don't mess with palpating, just like I don't usually mess with candling quail eggs. Hey, Verna, good to see you. Says, hey, everyone. Hey, Chris, we'll see you tomorrow night. Yep, I will be there tomorrow evening. Probably will get there about 6 o'clock. I'm planning on leaving out pretty early, but it's a long drive. So we'll see what time I can get there. Verna says, we'll be listening as I'm assembling cookbooks for QuailCon. Awesome. I'm going to have to pick up one of those cookbooks. Well, I don't know. If you have extras, I can't remember. I don't have to pre-buy them. I don't remember. Ed Got Bait says, hey, Chris, lots of people are on the journey to the quail promised land at QuailCon. Yeah, I imagine they are, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't know how many people heard this. I'll probably cut this one off at about 30 minutes instead of going a full hour tonight. I still got to get some things packed up. I got to leave out like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to take care of that stuff tonight. Everybody's going to be asleep in the morning. So no sense in making a bunch of racket. All right. Emergency prep guy says, what's the youngest you would breed a doe? I wouldn't breed a doe before, it really kind of depends. If we're talking, like regular meat rabbits, which are going to be like your 10-pound does or something like that, wait till they get up to about that weight, about 10 pounds roughly, 9 pounds, somewhere right around in there. If you're looking at a timeline, that's going to be usually right around 6 months. Don't breed them before 6 months. You might have to go to 8 months. Just depends on the rabbit. Sometimes it takes some a little bit longer to grow out than others. So you're looking at 6 to 8 months old, somewhere right around in there before you start breeding them. I would try to get them bred before they hit a year old. It can be a little bit difficult if they're over a year old and have never been bred to get them to breed. So hopefully that kind of helps out. Jammin' Mike, good to see you. Andrew says, hey, Chris, love your videos. Wondering if jumbo quail lay as many eggs as regular size quail. Yes, they do. The size doesn't really affect them. So I'm pretty much all your quail. I mean, there are minor differences between different breeds of quail. I don't know if you call them breeds, but different, varieties of quail where some will lay slightly more than others, but it's not a huge difference. Most of them, for the most part, they're all going to lay pretty much an egg a day. You might find that like jumbo, I can't remember. Zach from my shire did a video on this a long time or a while back anyway. And he was talking about the different kinds of quail and how many eggs they laid. And I like I said, it's not a huge difference anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. But yeah, they'll lay just as many eggs as a standard size quail. If I could remember the name of that video, I'd look it up and I'd post it for you guys. I can't remember what it was. Jesse Mills says, good evening, everyone. Working on getting everything done and loaded up for QuailCon. I'll be headed out in the morning. I will be too. I'm glad to see lots of you guys are going. I don't know who all is going to QuailCon and where are you guys staying. Leave that in the comment. Well, you don't have to if you don't feel comfortable doing that, but I'm just kind of curious. I'm going to be staying at the Courtyard by Marriott in Miamisburg, Ohio. I don't know exactly where it is. I mean, I know where it is on a map, but that's where I'm going to be staying. So if you guys are staying there or nearby and you see me out and about, make sure you stop and say hi because I won't know who you are. You'll have to talk to me. Yep, Verna's working, so she might not answer everyone. If you're talking to Verna, just be patient. Realize that she's kind of busy right now. She's listening in. Ed says, I hope everyone has a safe travel this weekend and above all, lots of fun at QuailCon. Me too. It's going to be a good time. Brittany says, yeah, because they can be too fat. I don't know what are you talking about? It's hard to get a doe to breed if she hasn't bred by a year old. I think that may be what you're talking about. Yeah, that could be a problem. I mean, definitely, yeah, you get too much weight on them for sure. Salvador says, hey, Chris and everyone from PR. Is that Puerto Rico? Is that, I'm guessing that's Puerto Rico. I don't know if I've got that right or not. And then Tony from Toronto, Canadian friends. I've never been to Canada. It's a place I'd like to visit someday. Verna says, my home is where I am staying. Yeah, well, it makes sense for you, Verna. You're right there local. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I've got like my eyelid all swollen up, just swelled up today. I don't know why. Hopefully it doesn't get worse. I got too much to do this weekend. It's not really that bad. I mean, it's not really bothering me that much. It's just weird. Sean says, when do jumbo Ferros start laying eggs? Mine are 6 weeks old and haven't started laying yet. They're separated into 5.5 to 1 breeding groups, and the roosters are crowing. Well, probably another couple of weeks. Usually, the roosters usually start crowing before the hens ever start laying eggs. And that's usually right around 8 weeks is usually when you can expect the hens to start laying. Sometimes they'll take a little bit longer. Sometimes they'll lay a little bit earlier, but 8 weeks is probably a good average time. Make sure you got plenty of light. If the roosters are crowing, you probably do, but the hens are a little bit more sensitive to that than the roosters are, especially young ones that are just growing up. You need 16 hours a day of light in order to get them to start laying on a consistent basis. Dominique says, I'll be there driving up from Northwest Arkansas, but I can't leave until afternoon. Oh, that sucks. Well, I don't guess it's that bad. It'll be fine. Ed says, sadly, due to health, was in the hospital a week. I will not be there. Had Zach give my tickets away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Ed. I was looking forward to that. Looking forward to meeting you, but hopefully you're doing okay. You said due to health, we're in the hospital a week. I didn't know that. Prayers for your quick recovery. My wife's not going to be able to come with me. We had a little bit of kind of a health scare this week. Last week, my mother-in-law had to go into the hospital with AFib. Her heart rate was racing, and she spent about 3-4 days in the hospital. They got that under control and did release her on Friday. Yeah, it was Friday, and we moved her and my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, both into our house because she's trying to recover. They're both in their late 80s. So they just needed some help. So it was easier to just move them in here. And so they're living with us now. My wife's going to have to be staying home though, to make sure they're taken care of. And, they get everything that they need. She's recovering and she's doing pretty well. And she's also dealing with cancer right now. cancer treatment anyway. Praise God. So far, it doesn't look like the cancer is, looks like they got all the cancer. There's no signs of it right now. She's only got three more chemo sessions left. Anyway, she's doing well right now, but always continued prayers for them as well is always appreciated. And prayers for you, Ed. Hopefully you do have a quick recovery. Jesse says, we'll be camping in the trailer, same place we slept at Swaps, LOL. Okay, well, that makes sense. I don't know where that place is exactly. I mean, I know he's got the field open up. I just don't know where on the field you're going to be camping, but that if I had a camper, that's what I would do too. I contemplated just camping out in the field, bringing a tent and camping out in the field, and I decided, I'll go ahead and get a hotel room. At least I can shower there and stuff, Might not be pleasant for everybody if I wasn't. All right. Brittany says, we're heading out tomorrow evening after son gets off school. We're staying at an Airbnb. Really excited. Awesome. I looked at some Airbnbs, but I couldn't find a good option. Hotel was cheaper, so I figured all I'm going to be doing is sleeping there pretty much. I'm going to be at my shire the rest of the time, so why spend more money than I needed to? 12 Gauge says, hey, Chris and all from Mountain View, Arkansas. Good to see you, 12 Gauge. Scott says, let's see, I had 3 quail born with one leg off to the side. Any idea? 3 of them with one leg off to the side, huh? So they have like a bad leg, all 3 of them. That's odd. 12 Gauge says, can't stay long. Wanted to say hello tonight. No problem. I can't stay long tonight either. I got to get off here and get packed up. I'm leaving out 6 o'clock in the morning. But all right, back to Scott. Your question about the 3 quail born with one leg off to the side. So most of the time when you have leg problems in quail that are just born, I find that it usually is a temperature issue. Most of the time, those are birds that are hatching out late, and it just takes them a little while. Like your incubator is probably reading a little bit low, or actually reading high, heating a little bit low. So it may say 99 degrees, but it may only be 98 or 97.9 or something like that. And that causes them to develop a little bit slower, a little bit weaker. They have a hard time getting out of the eggshell. They're fighting that. It could be a humidity issue, but more than likely it's a temperature issue and they were born late. If they weren't born late, if they were hatched out on like day 17, that could indicate some kind of vitamin deficiency, would be thiamine and vitamin E, but that's unlikely in a newborn chick. It's not common at all for that to be the issue. My guess would be more along the lines of either a temperature issue or some kind of, if you put something down in the bottom of the incubator that's slick and it's hard for them to get traction on, that can cause those leg problems too. Or if if they hatched out fine and you moved them to the brooder and then the leg problem developed, check what you're putting down on your flooring of your brooder box. Make sure it's not like newspaper. Newspaper is incredibly slick, hard for them to get traction. They can't get those tendons stretched out, and that can cause leg problems too. So there's a couple of ideas. If that doesn't help it, hit me back up, leave another comment or another, live chat, and we'll see if we can get further into detail about it and see. That's my best guess right offhand, though. Andrew says, do jumbo quail take longer or the same time as the original size to grow out full size for meat? About the same time. You're looking at 8 to 10 weeks, somewhere right around in there. Doesn't really matter if they're jumbos or standards. They all grow about the same rate. It's just jumbos are much bigger. Scrap says, mosquitoes. I solved the problem by sealing the gaps and placing a fan in the coop so they can't fly into the birds. I'm in an urban area, so the suggestion of bats and swallows sadly won't help. Well, I live in town and I have bats every night flying over my backyard. I don't know where they live, but they live around here somewhere because they're out every single night. But that's easier. I get what you're saying. It's not necessarily, you can't just get that done like that. So I'm glad to hear you got that solved, putting a fan in there. That's a great idea. Stan says, what's a fair price for live quail? I just had an order for 200 from now to winter. Depends, honestly, how old the birds are when you're selling them. Are they a special bird? Are they jumbos? Are they, something like that? Usually around here, quail go for about $1 for every week that they are old. So a 1-week-old bird would go for about $1, a 2-week-old bird for about $2, 3-week-old bird for about $3, and then they cap out somewhere around $5-6. If you don't go on Craigslist and look for quail and see what you got in your area, see what other people are selling them for. That'll give you an idea of what the market is. But you're looking at a 5-week-old or older bird, usually around $5-6, somewhere right around in there. Who's this? Texas Top Shelf Reptiles from Montgomery, Texas. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's see what we've got. I lost track. Oh, there we are. Miss Kitty from Still Hot, Utah. It's still hot here, too. We did get some rain the other day. Pretty good shower. Didn't last long enough, but it was a pretty good one. Texas Top Shelf Reptiles. Oh, you're welcome, Scott. Scott says thank you. You're all welcome. And Vicky, good to see you, Vicky. Sorry, I skipped those. Let's see. We got Texas Top Shelf Reptiles putting 27 in lockdown tonight. Awesome. Good luck with those. I've got birds, and I don't know why, but excuse me. I got birds in the incubator. Not birds, eggs in the incubator. Should have started hatching out Tuesday into Wednesday. They still haven't hatched. Not a single bird has hatched out yet. And, I mean, it's the same birds. I got the eggs from the same birds I hatched out 4 weeks ago, I guess it was, and had a great hatch rate. And so far, nothing. It's probably because I'm going to be gone starting tomorrow. They'll probably all hatch tomorrow and leave my wife to deal with them. But so far, nothing. And they're going on, like I said, they should have hatched out Wednesday, really. So we're already a day late. Kind of odd. But anyway, we'll see. Robert says, can you eat the non-jumbos? Yeah, why wouldn't you be able to? I'm not sure if there's more to your question. Yes, you can absolutely eat them. There's just not as much meat on them, but there's no reason not to eat them. Ed says, make sure you at least check out the vendor table at QuailCon. Yeah, absolutely check it out. Do you have some things? Well, you probably don't. You probably didn't send anything for sale there. I don't know. But yeah, we had some pretty decent vendors there last year. And I'm driving myself, so I can take stuff back with me. Last year I flew, and I couldn't, I was kind of limited on what I could take back on the plane. Dominique says, I've actually got 56 going into lockdown Sunday, but I'll be at QuailCon, so tasking the sun with lockdown. Yeah, I'm tasking my wife with lockdown. Ed says, put your YouTube and your Facebook name on a badge so we can put your name to a face. That's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so bad with names, so forgive me, guys, if you come up and tell me that you're a constant viewer and we see you all the time and I forget your name. I'm getting pretty good at the regular people that are here all the time. I think I recognize your names, but I'm going to have a hard time if you're going to, I don't mean this bad. I will remember maybe that you're on the YouTube channel, but I may not remember that one issue you told me about that, I can't keep that stuff straight with who had the issues. You're going to have to remind me. Usually if you tell me like, oh, I'm such and such, I go by this on YouTube. I talked to you about this issue like this. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Then I'll remember. I'll be able to put that together. But don't just come up to me and be like, hey, I'm such and such from YouTube, and my birds are doing great after you help me out with that. I'll be like, good. I don't know what we helped. I won't be able to remember, but you guys get it, don't you? Ed says, yes, I have quail egg necklaces and earrings for sale at Verna's table. Oh, awesome. I've seen a few of those. Those are kind of cool. Verna says, hey, Katrina, I see you are close. Did I miss one? Oh, Katrina says, hi to everyone from Middletown, Ohio today. Excited to see everyone. Well, I'm excited to see you guys too. I missed that comment. I'm sorry, I skipped it. Robert, just got them for meat, but they're not jumbos. Got colors. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I like the jumbos for meat because they're bigger birds. I mean, obviously, but that doesn't mean, I mean, for years people raised jumbos haven't been available for that long. I mean, it's only been 7, maybe 8 years, something like that the jumbos have been available. Before that, it was all standard quail. Lots of people raised them for meat when they were just standard sized birds, including me. I raised standard sized birds for a long time before I ever got jumbos. Who's that? Poolside Dreamer. Hello from Phoenix. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Whiskey Tango Farms is here. Says hello, everyone. Can't wait to see you this weekend. Are you guys still driving? I know that Whiskey. I was talking to them earlier today, and they were heading out to QuailCon. So I don't know if you're still driving or not, or if you actually made it, or if you had to stop for the day. I don't know. Katrina says, I just realized that if my broody quail was hatching, it'll happen while I'm away at QuailCon. Guess my boyfriend will get to see them first if they hatch. Yeah, that's the way it works, isn't it? Whiskey Tango Farm says it's coming to QuailCon. The schedule /flyer/info is on the Whiskey Tango Farms website. There you go. And Ed wants to know if you're almost there too. That was the same question I asked. Are you still driving? Let's see what she says. Oh, she sent the she can't post the site, I don't think. So she sent me a text with the QuailCon event flyer, and it looks great. QuailCon event flyer. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this on my phone, but there's a section where you can download it. Let's see. There we go. Oh, it's going to be too small on my phone for you to read, but that's what it looks like. That's the flyer, event flyer, and then there's a schedule of events. So that's it. What is the flyer? I've got to read this. Okay, farm tours on. This is tomorrow. No, Saturday. Sorry, Saturday. Gates open at 12. 12 to 7. There's going to be farm tours, barn tours, kids farm tours, and a butcher class tomorrow. And is that all? I'm sorry, on Saturday. I think that's all on Saturday. And then Sunday, all the speakers are going to be talking, including myself. So, all right. Where we at? Whiskey Tango Farm says, just got checked into the hotel, dropped some stuff off at Myshire. Awesome. You guys got there. Pretty good time for you, huh? Well, I don't know. You left out pretty early too, didn't you? So, and it is 7:30, so almost 7:30. Ed says, Chris, be safe on your travels this weekend. Oh, absolutely will be. Anybody from Illinois here? Because I have to drive through Illinois to get there, and I'm a little concerned about that. But I think it'll be okay. I think I understand the law well enough that I'll be okay. But I'm just kind of curious. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, why I'd be nervous about driving through Illinois is they have the craziest, strictest gun laws in the country. And you're in Chicago, so maybe you can tell me about that, Gasky Farms. The way I understand it here, let me get these other two comments out of the way, and then we'll talk that for a minute. Hey, there's Brandon from Whiskey Tango Farms in Ohio as well right now. Katrina says, Chris, if you put the WTF link in the chat, everyone will be able to see it. Yeah, let me do that. Hang on. That's a good idea. Whiskey. Hang on just a minute. I think this is you guys, isn't it? Yep, this is you guys. This is your site. We'll get this pulled up. Let me put the site in there, and then you can navigate from there to all that. All right, where was I going? Who said they were in Chicago? I got to scroll up and find it again. I already answered that one. So, good evening from Ohio. That got that. There we are, Gatsky Farms in Chicago. There you are. Okay. All right, so we got there. So here's what I understand about Illinois gun laws. I'm a concealed carry holder. My concealed carry permit's still valid. I had to think about that, make sure it was still valid. It is. Missouri's a constitutional carry state. You don't have to have a permit, but I do carry one anyway. I keep mine current just because of like traveling like this. So my understanding is that I'm able to carry it in my car. If I get out of my car, it has to be unloaded and in a case. And what would count as a case would be like the glove box, the console, something like that. But it has to be unloaded, ammo, can't fire. That's what I understand. I don't know. You may not know the laws, but that's what I looked it up. And you can tell me if I'm right or not. I'm going to do my best just not to stop in Illinois, but we'll see. Just a Hufflepuff says, I keep thinking about the WTF as something else. Oh, yeah, right. Brandon says you should be fine. Yeah, well, here's the problem though. With Illinois is that if you don't get the gun right, if you break the law with a gun, it's a felony. I mean, no matter what, it's a felony. That's not right, but it's the way it is. Like if I just mistakenly, like if I were to get out of my car with my gun on me, even though I'm a concealed carry permit holder in Missouri, there's not reciprocity in Illinois. So if I were to get out of the car with my gun on me accidentally, boom, felony, because I'm not legally licensed to carry in the state of Illinois. Anyway, Dominique says, I won't be there until Saturday. Going to spend the night in Terre Haute. I don't know where that is. It's just me and my daughter coming. Well, that's all right. We'll see you guys there. Scrap says, if there's anything you can recommend for leg infections, I've had hardware cloth and sections of plywood to give them a break, but they still get infections. You're talking about like leg or foot. If it's leg infections, like on the leg itself, that seems odd. If it's on the bottom of the foot, that definitely could be something that Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Got distracted by some other things. If it's on the bottom of the foot, like bumblefoot infections, that could definitely be, because of the hardware cloth itself. But leg infections, that shouldn't be the hardware cloth. That seems odd. I keep my birds out there on hardware cloth. I never have a problem with bumblefoot or leg infections or foot infections or any of that kind of stuff. So it makes me wonder if something else is going on. You said hardware cloth and sections of plywood. You may have to check that plywood, make sure that it's not splintering too bad or anything like that. Put a sandbox in there for them to get into and get off the wire. I really don't have a good answer for you, unfortunately. I'm not sure what would be causing those issues because that seems unusual. And Gatsky says, I am as well. I don't know what I am as well means. Probably Illinois. You're in Illinois or Chicago, maybe. Just a Huff and Puff says, I have cousins living in Illinois. Well, I don't know if that helps or not, but Whiskey Tango Farm says just locked glove box and not hot and should be fine. Yeah, it should be. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully. Andrew says, hope your quail eggs hatch and safe travels. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope they hatch too, but we'll see. Whiskey Tango Farm says correct. Locked vehicle and locked glove box works as well. Okay, got it. That's what I thought. That was my understanding from it was like the Illinois, it was a government website that said that. So it wasn't like just somebody telling me that. It was like their government website. Gatsky says, if you are no carrying, yes, you have to keep the gun in the glove box or case with the ammo in a different area. Okay. Got it. Scrap says you can't carry if on you in your car in areas that you don't have a carry license, right? You have to keep it locked in your trunk. That's the federal firearms transportation rule. I don't think that's right, actually. It depends on the state laws, honestly. Some states like Missouri I have reciprocity in, a bunch of states because most of the states have reciprocity with each other. There are a few, though, that do not. But I don't think that's right. I don't think that's federally correct on the rule for carrying it locked in the trunk. I don't believe that's the case, but who knows? Scrap says both foot and leg / joints. Okay, my guess would be that. Oh, you're a concealed carry holder, Gasky. That makes more sense. I got you. I'm with you. Scrap 500. Okay, both foot and legs and joints. Okay, that makes me think that maybe what's happening is they're getting their feet cut up and getting infections on the bottom of their feet, and then it's spreading up the leg, and because it's a staph infection, basically. If you get that, what you're going to have to do is find whatever it is that's in there, grain of sand, a splinter, whatever, get it out. You can treat it with some antibiotic ointment. Use one that doesn't have pain reliever in it. That pain reliever can be toxic. So get that out of their foot, whatever it is, treat them with some antibiotic ointment. I hate to say it, you may have to switch off a hardware cloth or something if you keep having these issues, but I think I'd try to figure out, is it the hardware cloth? Because that, like I said, I don't have any issues and I've got them hardware cloth. So look for some good, some rough spots on the hardware cloth. Is there something that's causing them to, get open wounds that are getting infected? Is it the plywood maybe? Is it real splintery and they're getting splinters on their feet? They will, kick their feet on a solid surface. So that may be happening. I'm sorry, I don't have the best answer. I just don't know. It seems like it's not an issue I've faced, so I'm not real sure. Ed says CC here also. At least I know I'm with the like-minded. Yeah, we are like-minded probably. But Chris says, and I would like to go anywhere those fire males would what? And I wouldn't go anywhere those fire malls would apply. Oh, firearms would apply. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that, Chris. I wouldn't go anywhere those firearm would apply, or maybe you mean those firearm laws would apply. I'm guessing. I'm a little lost. Don't know what it means exactly. Whiskey Tango Farm says pew pew life for life. Yeah, I agree. And my wife said, "Are you just going to leave your gun at home?" I said, "No, I'm not going to leave it at home. I'm driving through St. Louis by myself. I'm going through, no, I'm not leaving it at home." Porcupine Acres says, out of 20 hatch, we have 12 roos and 8 hens. Is this normal? I wouldn't say it's necessarily normal, but it's not really abnormal either. It is rare to get more roosters probably than hens, but actually it's not rare. What am I thinking? It'd be rare to get more hens than roosters. It just seems to be luck of the draw that you usually get way more roosters than you need, unfortunately. Just a Hufflepuff says, I plan on being a cop someday, so I'm eventually going to have to use pew pew. Well, maybe not. There are plenty of police officers that never have to pull their gun. Pray that you don't. I mean, I pray that I never have to use mine. I carry it because I sorry, I got distracted again. I carry a gun because you never know. There may be some lunatic out there that, you know, I have to protect myself or I have to protect somebody else. And I pray that I never have to do that, because it's better to sleep at night than it is to shoot somebody. But just in case, I want to be available. I want to be there to, to protect somebody if it comes down to it, if it needs to be done. But that's a thing, situation I hope that I never have to deal with. But we'll see. All right. Well, we're getting right about 7:30, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to wrap this one up early tonight. Just got some stuff I got to get done before I head out tomorrow morning, and I'm leaving out early tomorrow morning. So hopefully you understand. Brandon wants to know if I'm all packed up and ready for the drive. Well, not mostly, but not completely. I've got some things to do. Two Sticker says, what do you do with your quail about heat? I'm in California, 108. I don't do anything. Brandon, my drive is 9.5 hours, roughly, something like that. Okay, let's talk about the heat real quick, and then I'll wrap this one up. I don't do anything. It's been 105 since the beginning of June for us here, and I don't do anything. Keep them in the shade, make sure they have access to plenty of water, and that's it. They do fine, especially you're in California, so I don't know how dry that is. It may be, I don't know. We have pretty, I've got the rabbit carrier already loaded up, so Whiskey Tango Farms. I'm getting a new rabbit from Whiskey Tango Farms this weekend, so we'll have it on video, of course. The rabbit carriers are already loaded up. All right, so the heat, don't worry about it. They're going to do fine. Keep them in the shade. Make sure they have access to plenty of water, and they'll be fine. Now, Porcupine Acres, there is no way to pick out the eggs to get more hens than roosters. I wish there was, but there's not. So, unfortunately. And Two Sticker says very dry. Well, at least you're lucky in that. You have dry weather. We have humid weather here, so we don't have that luxury. But they're going to be fine. All right, I got to wrap this one up. Yep. All right, you guys are really going now. I got to quit looking. I'm sorry. I got to wrap this one up. I got to go get ready and go to bed so I can get up early in the morning and drive out there to QuailCon. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of you guys there. And until next week, the ones that aren't there, we'll see you next week probably. I'm getting all mixed up. You get what I'm saying. Thanks for joining tonight. I appreciate it as always. God bless. We will see you guys either this weekend or next week on the Next Week Live broadcast. Take care.